Harambee! Neno hili si hivyo. Mambo ni matatu.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome back to our channel once again. I have followed the revolution in Nepal very closely.
What is behind me is hundreds of people breaking through the main gate. I cannot believe it. Oh, brother. Hello.
And I have one fear for Kenyans. If the 2027 presidential elections will not be managed well, I can assure you, the country is likely to slide to the level of Nepal. And nobody should pray for any country to reach that level. Because if you study the revolution in Nepal, it actually mirrors what we witnessed in the Republic of Kenya during the Gen Z revolution in June 2025. Two things are very clear. Number one, the Nepal revolution was actually led by the young generation, the Gen Zs.
Nepal, our mother, this country gave us birth, nurtured us. But what did it ask in return? Just our honesty, our hard work, our contribution. But what are we doing? We are bounded by the chains of unemployment, fleeing abroad in search of opportunities. We are trapped by the selfish games of political parties. Corruption has woven a web that is extinguishing the light of our futures. Youth, rise! We are the torch bearers of change. If you do not raise our voices, who will? If you do not raise our voices, who will? If you do not build this nation, who will? We are the fire that will burn away the darkness. We are the storm that will sweep away injustice and bring prosperity. Our ancestors shed their blood to give us this nation. We cannot sell it. We cannot lose it. Now we must decide, will we drown in the darkness of despair or rise as the sun of hope? Will we change the fate of this nation or will we let it remain in shackles? King Birendra once said, even if I die, shall my country live on? All the youths, carry these words in your heart and engrave a monument of change in the course of history. Nepal is ours. And its future is in our hands. Jai Yuva, Jai Nepal!
And number two, Nepal generation, the young people of Nepal, were very angry and very bitter with their political class for two main reasons only. And it's actually the same reasons why the Gen Zs in Kenya led their revolution. Number one, they were very angry with the corruption in that nation, that the political class were too corrupt. And importantly, what triggered it, that revolution, was the fact that the children of the politicians were actually leading extravagant life. You remember the Gen Zs in Kenya, one of the reasons why they went to the streets was because people like Murkomen were putting on very expensive watches, while at the same time, they still wanted to levy more taxes on Kenyans. And because of those similarities, I think if the 2027 presidential elections will not be managed well, then there's a high chance that the country might actually slide. In this video, I want us to look at 3 or 4 areas which the government of William Ruto should monitor very closely to avoid such kind of Nepal revolution in Kenya. Before I do that, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support. Because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. Ladies and gentlemen, let us begin. The first thing which can easily trigger revolution in Kenya today is any attempt to engineer the extension of the term limit of the president and that of parliament. Last week and early this week, I think there were those kind of stories. But a communication was released by the Senate that that such kind of a bill was nowhere near Senate. But the truth of the matter is that in politics, nothing happens out of mere coincidence. We all know that someone like Senator Cherargei has been pushing for term limit of 7 years. The idea is, if that were to be achieved, then William Ruto will now serve, if he will win the second term, 7 years. Or someone will go to court and claim that he served 5 years, and therefore, if he serves for another 7 years, then he will still be eligible. I can assure you, any attempt to extend the term of the president in Kenya can easily trigger a revolution. Because remember, the 2025 revolution was suppressed. And because it was suppressed, it's still somewhere. It can easily be triggered and it can explode. So the talks about extending term of parliament as at now should not be entertained in Kenya. So that's number one. Number two, and if you followed the Nepal revolution, the ban on social media. When Gen Z led their protest in the Republic of Kenya, there were stories that the government was planning to ban social media. I remember Senator Oroba at one point even suggested that social media should be regulated. At some point, I think the Women Rep for Nairobi, Passaris, even drafted a bill, but because of noise, she had to withdraw it. The young people of the Republic of Kenya today are unemployed. So the only place they get or they spend their time is social media. Some of them are even earning their daily bread from social media. If anybody will attempt to ban social media in Kenya, I know someone can go to the president and tell him, for the country to be safe, what we need to do is to try and streamline social media and maybe ban it. At some point, they were even thinking of introducing some kind of token so that if you want to buy data, you use token. Those are part of strategies to monitor and control social media. That can easily trigger a revolution. So any talk on the ban of social media should not be entertained, at least for now, until after the last election, until after the next election. Number three, and this is the most dangerous one, and this is why IEBC must be very, very careful. The 2027 presidential elections in the Republic of Kenya. Let me ask you this question. Do you think Kenya has ever held a free and fair elections? I doubt. There must always be some element of reggae. But we have a young generation, the Gen Zs, who are very smart. They are technologically advanced than most of us. They are trying to bring change. And they believe that they tried the change through revolution, which failed. So most of them are not planning to bring that change through the ballot. Which means, politically, the young people now are more aware than they were in the last election. So most of them will turn up to vote. And they will turn up to try and make sure that their votes will count. And that's where the danger is. So they'll be monitoring how IEBC will be conducting the elections. Some of them have already developed softwares which they'll be using to try and conduct parallel tallying centers to avert any rigging. So if they will lose, they should lose, knowing so well that nobody rigged their votes. But if they will win and then you stop them, problem. I watched the videos there, and leaders, people who are serving the people, big men, are escaping using choppers, some of them hanging. Some of them are being thrown in the river. You wouldn't want such kind of scenes in this country. So IEBC must be very strategic so that even if they are planning, because some element of rigging must always be there, even if they're planning to rig, they must not be obvious. I'm not talking of only the presidential. Even at the constituency level, even at the ward level, young people will be contesting. Even at the party primaries, they'll be contesting. So if you rig them, problem. And number four, the fourth thing is this procurement of electoral. Number four, which also to some extent is something which they should take care of very closely, is the procurement of electoral materials. In the last election, IEBC, led by Wafula Chebukati, decided to print some forms, extra copy. Up to now, nobody has told the Kenyans who footed the cost of the extra ballot paper. Form 34, sijui A of 2, sijui of what, that form. And because the opposition were millennials, they didn't care. These young people will be monitoring these things, especially the deployment of the electronic voting system. They'll be keenly monitoring. So if they'll be monitoring and they are seeing monkey businesses, they'll highlight it. In Nepal, these young people just said, okay, let us meet on 8th. The leaders there thought it was a joke. And it was just like that. In fact, sometimes you wonder, because these guys told these guys, you guys are corrupt. We are going to come. These guys assumed it was the normal threat until they saw what they saw. And lastly, the recruitment of IEBC officials across the country. The elected leaders should ensure their relatives, their family members are recruitment based on merit. Not a case where they'll be recruited because they know so and so at IEBC, they know so and so as an MP. That will be a problem. Because there's serious unemployment in this country. People view those opportunities as employment opportunities for them. So if you populate those vacancies with the relatives of the leaders or of the officials, I can assure you that's going to be a big problem. And maybe the leaders must not show extravagance. Sometimes it's tempting, but they should avoid any attempt, any temptation to prove that, this watch of mine is 6 million, those kind of things. I'm not saying this is 6 million. I can't even afford 6 million. Right? I don't know what to think. That's my take. Until next time, this is Makwiny. Bye bye.